something's got to give today.
No doubt about that. This is must-see TV. Top two teams in the conference going at it. Should be a lot of fun.
Leah Mafua, Jade Upshaw, Elizabeth Aviara, Kinley Fisher, Bree Stevens, the starting lineup for Central Arkansas. Florida Gulf Coast, who controls the tip. Amani Jefferson, Serena Roll, Dolly Cairns, Kamani Mitchell-Steele, and Lauren Taylor's your starting lineup for tonight. Florida Gulf Coast is not afraid to let it fly. They've been among the nation's best three-point shooting teams in the last 5 seasons. They're currently 25th in the country coming into this contest. And working quickly, though. Shot in the lane's good. First bucket of the contest, Dolly Cairns.
She's usually a player that can light it up from three, one of the best in the country from deep, but get a little bit into her bag right there. That floater, high percentage look, you love to see it.
Florida Gulf Coast not afraid to defend either. They're going to get up in the face of Central Arkansas as Leah Mafua misses the bunny in the lane.
That's a really good look there off the backside. Nice feed. Just got to finish those from close.
There's the aforementioned three-pointer, and the window's open early as Kamari Mitchell-Steen gives Florida Gulf Coast a 5-0 lead.
Doesn't matter how they go in, they still all count the same. Gets the friendly roll. The bank was open.
Jade Upshaw drive to the lane, little contact, no foul. Gulf Coast is quickly out with it. Working 5-0. The bump there is going to be called. The first foul of the contest. The Central Arkansas fell behind early against Florida Gulf Coast last year in the conference championship game, trailed by 10 after one quarter and never could get back into it. And they already find themselves down 5-0 in this one.
It's all about having a good start. Certainly that doesn't always carry over, but it's a great way to begin a ball game. And I like the drive inside to get that foul on Stevens.
The Eagles in the road greens, trimmed in blue. Central Arkansas to all whites. 7 to shoot down. Florida Gulf Coast gets into the lane. Little runner is up and good. Amani Jefferson gets it to fall, and Florida Gulf Coast is at their first 3 shots from the floor.
There's a reason she was voted as the preseason player of the year in Atlantic Sun, one of the best point guards in the country. She's a slasher and a scorer as well. And Jefferson with a nice shot from close.
Upshaw picks up her dribble, elbow extended, looking for a little help, and a whistle and a foul called. Going to bail out Central Arkansas as they were struggling to get that possession going.
Mitchell-Steen there, a little bit too tight. Bumped inside, kind of returned the favor. Stevens did it earlier. Mitchell-Steen that time too closely on the face guard. UCA just hoping to calm things down a little bit, reset, get their offense going.
Mafua using the ball screen from Abiar. Lets a deep 3 go. It's good. Leo Mafua gets the Sugar Bears on the board.
Little step back, too, waiting for that screen. Mafua, she's a 3-point threat. That one was too easy.
Another whistle and a foul called on Kinley Fisher. 2 quick fouls on the defensive end for Central Arkansas. The home crowd, not a fan of it.
Boy, Jefferson sold that one big time. She kind of got bailed out. She almost got down with the travel. Fisher, wrong place, wrong time, gets whistled for the foul.
They quickly go inside to Taylor. Good defense by Abiar, makes her kick it out. That was our pregame matchup to pay attention to. Taylor versus Abiar down low. Another Euro step and a finish with the left hand. Mitchell-Steen hit a couple jump shots already.
You could tell that's kind of been the MO change, right? A big 3-point shooting team. They're starting to score in the paint.
Mafua answers back her second triple.
That's a good way to go at home. Mafua missed a bunny early. Didn't seem to affect her. Back-to-back 3 balls. Getting UCA cut to the 3.
Quick to the lane and one. Amani Jefferson, a quick step, draws the foul. A chance for the old school 3-point play.
That's a really tough finish from Amani Jefferson. She took a really hard screen a moment ago, was banged up, didn't let it bother her, sliced through the defense, and gets the and one try.
Bree Stevens just picked up her second personal foul, just 2 minutes and 46 seconds into this contest, and the conference's leading shot blocker is going to have to go to the bench. And the question for Tony Kemper is, how long is one of your best defenders going to sit on the pine?
Yeah, it's one of the Atlantic Sun's best preseason co-defensive player of the year. Skylar Gill for Florida Gulf Coast for the other one. So good defense on the floor. You hate to see that if you're UCA.
Jefferson with the free throw. It's good. You can see the grimace there from Amani Jefferson as she checks out. She was victim of the high ball screen right in front of our vantage point at the midcourt stripe that set up the previous Mafua 3, but she hits the free throw. And Florida Gulf Coast has not missed a shot yet. 5 of 5 from the floor, 1 of 1 from the foul line. They lead 11-6, 12-6 now.
The screen you talked about, though, she hit it hard. So she was a little banged up off the floor, gets a well-deserved rest.
Cheyenne Kemp quickly into the game, quickly to the rack. The Morrilton native scores after not playing in the previous 2 contests.
Yeah, she's been banged up a little bit. Doesn't seem hampered at all on that drive inside. A really nice offensive look for UCA.
High-level basketball in the first 3 minutes and change here. 20 combined points already. Home crowd calling for defense. They get it inside to Taylor. Might have shuffled the feet. Whistle in. Finally do call to travel.
Hey, that was a nice find from Santoro, but put her teammate in a little bad spot there. Got bumped in there. Good defense from UCA to force the miscue.
2 teams that are known for their defense, not able to get many stops. Central Arkansas shooting 60%. Florida Gulf Coast has not missed yet. Fisher into the lane. Her fadeaway jumper falls off, no good. Albiara tries to get the rebound, but she's going to draw a foul.
That's a really nice effort from Albiara. I was watching that whole play underneath. She just got tangled up. Lauryn Taylor didn't have position. You'll see kind of hold her arm right there. That's where the whistle came in. It was a little bit late, but that's the right call.
That's one area to pay attention to is Taylor picks up her first personal foul and checks out. Skylar Guild replaces her, and she gets the task of guarding Albiara down low. Maful with the drive. Tough shot there. Draws a foul.
She got in plus position. Anytime you can get a little bit of an edge on your defender. That wasn't bad defense. Could have gone either way. They get the foul, though, and Maful a chance to cut it to a 1-possession game.
They're calling it tight in the early going here. Yeah. Both teams already whistled for 3 personal fouls. Officiating crew of Scott Klumpus, Tanisha Wappus, and Ty Bills. First one's in and out, no good from Mafua, who came into the contest as one of the conference's best free throw shooters. 80% even on the season, 64 of 80 before that one. She and teammate Kinley Fisher among the top, and Mafua missed them both. So it stays the 12-8 contest. Nobody stopped the basketball, and all the way to the rack goes Casey Santoro.
She's a really good player. Transfer from Kent State Golden Flash. She's kind of flashed a little bit there, streaking down the floor, untouched for the lay-in.
5th-year senior taking advantage of it. Upshaw, another tough drive. A late whistle, but Upshaw, who's second in the conference in foul shooting, is going to go into the strike.
And here's the deal. You've already mentioned it. A lot of fouls being called early. Take advantage of the offense. Go straight. That's not bad defense from Santoro. But again, if they're calling a lot of tight game like that, take advantage. Get to the rack, go downhill, and try to get a foul.
It's a little early to pay attention to foul situations, but it looks like we're going to have to. 4 fouls already with nearly 6 minutes left from Central Arkansas in the bonus after this one. This one was a shooting foul, so Upshaw gets a pair.
And the energy in the building has a lot to do with that, too, right? That's why you play early non-conference games against Power Fours or teams that draw a lot of good crowds. It's to prepare you for moments late in conference play when it matters most.
I think it goes without saying this is the best crowd we've seen all season.
Let's wait for an official attendance, Bobby.
The old Eagle Owl will tell it to you. Upshaw knocks down the first. And she's 2 of 2 from the stripe. And Jade Upshaw shooting north of 72%. Kinley Fisher better than 86%. So this is not a team you want to send to the foul line on a regular basis. There's a lot of Page for Florida Gulf Coast. She gets into the lane. She's hit on the arm. Fisher is going to be guilty of that. That's her second personal. So now the Sugar Bears have 2 players in the starting lineup, already with 2 fouls each.
And Randria Wright's going to come in, and they said preseason honoree. But a nice job from Page to leverage a little bit. Here's what's going to come into play because of the foul. If it continues like that, it's going to be role players. Some of your bench players are going to have to step up because you're going to have to get some of your star guys off the floor.
And that's why it's so important to get Cheyenne Kemp back for Central Arkansas after she missed some time with an elbow injury. Randria Wright played well last week in a pair of victories for the Sugar Bears. Destin Duckworth also checks in for UCA as the first miss of the contest of any variety for Florida Gulf Coast is there, but they get the offensive rebound and the triple from Casey Santoro quietens the crowd.
That's a big shot, too. You get the offensive rebound, second chance opportunity, and quieten the crowd, making them pay. Nice job from Santoro.
7 of 7 from the floor to start this are the Eagles. Mafua, drive to the rack, too strong. Duckworth battling for the rebound, but eventually pulled out by Mitchell Steen. She's got it back, does Mitchell Steen. She's driving on Upshaw, off the window, good. 8 of 8 from the floor are the Eagles.
That's how you win on the road. Great start, you got to keep it up. You know it's going to falter just a little bit.
Randrier right with the fancy dribble, but she loses possession. And now we got a whistle. We're going to hit our first media timeout. The Eagles are on fire from the floor, and they're going to have possession, leading the Sugar Bears up 10. Central Arkansas perfect at home this year. Florida Gulf Coast pretty good on the road. 2 of their 3 losses come away from home, but they haven't missed a shot yet, JB.
Yeah, you're gonna win a lot of games when you shoot like this on the road. You just got to keep it up. No, it's not going to probably hold up for long. Something to keep in mind, though, for Florida Gulf Coast, right? Their last loss was against Liberty. They're not in the league anymore. So beyond that, their last loss to a team in this league was in February of 2022. They're 81-1 in that span.
I'm not an expert, but I'm going to bet that a team that has never missed a field goal has never lost a game in the history of basketball. Don't know if it's ever happened, but Florida Gulf Coast, perfect 8 for 8 so far. They've got a 22-10 lead on the Central Arkansas Sugar Bears, as we're more than halfway home here in the first. Upshaw, her step back jumper is too strong. And Florida Gulf Coast holds them to 1 possession, 1 shot on that.
That's what they do. Force you to take shots further away from the basket than kick for threes.
Another inside out, and Gulf Coast finally misses their first shots, as that three-pointer from Santoro was also too strong.
Eagles are 5 for 5 on layups. UCA's 1 for 4. So they're going to have to get those bunnies to go and try to work inside.
Destin Duckworth, her tough jumper won't fall. Things inside the three-point line is not going down for Central Arkansas. Inside 4 minutes. As Florida Gulf Coast swings it around the perimeter. Here's Jefferson. Back to Santoro. 8 on the shot clock. Jefferson crossover dribble. Tough jumper there. One-hand finish. Jefferson seems like she can get to the rim anytime she wants to.
Well, just the way she dribbles inside. She shields that ball, and so she can kind of twist and turn really quickly. Makes her tough to guard because you don't know what she's going to do with it. Again, one of the best point guards in the land.
Mafua, another turnaround, finally gets one to go on the lane. Leah Mafua with 8 points for Central Arkansas.
Going to have a lot of that. Get some stops against Florida Gulf Coast as well. They've mounted a really good start to this game in the first quarter.
They're doubling up the Sugar Bears right now, as 9 of their first 10 shots have gone down. Going to try to add to it, and they do. Another three-pointer. Skylar Gill buries one, as we've got a loose ball foul underneath.
Wow. Insult to injury. You leave her open. Gill makes you pay. And then the foul underneath, you're going to see it after the shot goes down. Right at the bottom, just hip checks Jefferson. You can't do that in a game like this.
So the three-pointer is good, and now the Eagles are to the foul line for a potential 5-point possession. Everything is turning up aces for the Eagles.
Well, you look ahead for Florida Gulf Coast. They're currently predicted to be the 13th seed in the NCAA tournament. They're certainly playing like an NCAA tourney team right now.
They've pretty much been a lock right now as far as the projected automatic qualifier from the Atlantic Sun. Most people think this is going to be a one-bid league. I think the selection committee might have something to say should Florida Gulf Coast go down in the conference tournament. I think it'd be a hard time keeping this team out of the field of 68. And they certainly look like a tournament team right now. 29, make it 30 points. 29 points in this first quarter. Unreal shooting performance in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. You just start at that beginning, those first 2 shots, and it just kept rolling for them.
There's Cheyenne Banks, uses the muscle, the turnaround. She gets some points in the paint.
UCA going to have to take a lot more advantage of that and play some defense.
Quick three. Lights out. Alana Page. Florida Gulf Coast is unconscious.
That rim's about as big as it can get, right? That hoop. Everything they're throwing up seems to be falling down.
The crowd here in Conway is stunned. at the sharp shooting from Florida Gulf Coast. And a tough defense there from the Eagles. The shot blocked out of bounds. Coach Tony Kemper's going to take a timeout. What do you have to do to stop this bleeding? There's a reason they're the measuring stick in this league.
No doubt about it. Those two losses, too, are against teams that are in the top 100 in the net. Columbia's a really good team, likely going to win the Ivy League. Davidson's really good. And then the loss at home to Montana State, they're likely going to win their league as well.
Certainly scheduled up because they're used to playing deep into March. Even have a couple NCAA tournament wins in the last few seasons. They get it inside. Taylor's been quiet, and she misses her first shot attempt. Now Central Arkansas trailing 18 here in the first. Going to try to chip away because you know Florida Gulf Coast cannot continue to shoot over 90% for the entire game.
Well, you saw on that miss, the crowd kind of got clapping. They felt like they saw a unicorn.
Mafua tough to the rim. Leah Mafua's already got 10 for the Sugar Bears.
Nice job cradling it over Page there and then straight to the rim for the easy two.
Taylor now sets the screen out top, working for Jefferson. You can see Florida Gulf Coast really is just trying to get off a screen and get up a deep three. Again, they're 25th in the country in three-pointers made. And that one goes over the top. A miss from Serena Roll.
Andrea Wright and Amani Jefferson getting into it. That time it goes on Jefferson battling underneath. Got a little hip check there. But if UCA is going to be late to the three ball, don't make it worse. Just get set, get ready to box out.
This is certainly a team you've got to close out on carefully because they have the ability to put it on the floor and get to the rim. So 11 of 14 now from the floor. 4 of 6 from three-point land is Florida Gulf Coast. They're currently doubling up the Sugar Bears as we're down to the final 60 seconds here in the first. Mafua, she's been the bright spot for the Bears. Andrea Wright gives it up. Here's our first look at Jenna Cook, the freshman from Cabot. 5 on the shot clock. Mafua is going to let one fly. Ball fake, gets into the lane. Floater's good. Leah Mafua single-handedly carrying UCA.
That's really pretty basketball from Mafua.
A quick three on the other end and an immediate response as Elena Page knocks out another.
That's great basketball from Florida Gulf Coast, too. You give up the bucket late in the shot clock, then race down the floor to get a transition three.
Page already with 7 in the quarter. Right in the lane. Gives it up to Cook. 13 now on the game clock, and Central Arkansas is going to hold it for the final shot of this opening quarter. Kemp's got it on the logo. Cheyenne Kemp pull up 15-footers. Got it! Big shot for Cheyenne Kemp. And Central Arkansas pulls within 35-20. But an impressive opening frame from Florida Gulf Coast as the conference leader leads it by 15. Shoot 50% from the floor, perfect from the three-point line, and find yourself down 15 at home. That's exactly what Central Arkansas is seeing right now is Florida Gulf Coast on fire in that first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they could not miss. Quite literally, the only 3 they missed. But they were knocking down everything that they wanted. UCA's hoping they'll slow down a little bit. Maybe their defense will help out.
Bree Stevens and Kinley Fisher both picked up 2 personal fouls in that opening quarter on the floor to start this second period. Cook, she gets into the lane. Turnaround jumper. The freshman gets the friendly roll.
That's tough to do against a veteran in Santoro. Not bad defense, but Cook putting her efforts on display.
No time to waste as Gulf Coast quickly back into the front court. Thought about another 3 did Skylar Gill. She's already knocked down 1. Afraid to pull the trigger there.
Yeah, you hesitate and you just kind of think about it too much and get rid of it.
Santoro trapped on the baseline, almost turned it over, but right to a teammate, and Kamari Mitchell-Steen does the rest. Another tough drive and a finish.
It really is. That's a tough look. Well defended, strong to the rack. Again, a high percentage look, though, so you'll take it. But she got that one to go amongst the trees.
Mitchell-Steen has 9. Fisher all the way to the lane. Finish with the right hand. It's too tough. Can't get it to fall. 37-22. Battle of the top 2 teams in the conference. Mitchell-Steen all the way up and under. A little too much English. Couldn't get the friendly roll.
I think she might have anticipated Stevens coming over. wasn't there. Almost got that shot to go, though.
Abiara, she's been quiet. Backs her defender down, and one. Elizabeth Abiara on the board.
That's a really big muscle play from Abiara. Strength on strength, just goes inside. Watch her kind of have to bring that ball all the way up, and then to get it to go. 3-point play up coming for Elizabeth Abiara.
We thought the battle of this one might happen to go inside with Taylor and Abiara, but both of those players quiet in the first 12 minutes or so. But Elizabeth Abiara, the 6'2", Mansfield, Texas native, has a chance for the 3-point play here.
For Central Arkansas, they're going to have players like Abiara. We already talked about her being our highlight player. Other players are going to have to step up. You're going to come from behind again against Florida Gulf Coast.
Central Arkansas now 2 of 5 from the free throw line. Three ball left wing from Skylar Gills, too strong. It looks like Central Arkansas is content with letting her shoot from the outside.
They're one of the best 25th in the country in three-pointers made per game. And, you know, over the last 7 years, they were the top team in the country 5 times in three-pointers made per game average. So they're a three-point shooting team. They've got it in their DNA.
Fisher has her pocket picked, and now a 2-on-1 opportunity for the Eagles. Mitchell Steen's got it on the block. But nice job defensively to get back from the Sugar Bears as Mafua takes it away, and she's fouled.
Leah Mafua having one heck of a game. Offensively, the effort. Jenna Cook also came in, swiped, and kind of caused that play to get bobbled up. Watch her right there, got a little tipped, and then Mafua comes backside with the takeaway. Jefferson, loose ball foul. That's tough. I think she wanted to walk instead of the foul.
The Ferris Center crowd appreciated the hustle there from Cook and Mafua to get back to thwart the 2-on-1 opportunity and stop that scoring chance. Cook working off the screen from Abiara. Jefferson again takes one into the face. You can see the physicality defensively from the Eagles, and now we got a dead ball whistle. I think they're going to check on Jefferson.
You know, she was real frustrated, kind of got hit in the lip again. You know, she got bumped earlier on that screen. Visibly frustrated on the next offensive sequence.
Here's a look at what they were reviewing as the head of Jenna Cook. A little incidental contact there to Amani Jefferson. No foul there. We're just going to play on. And Jefferson's taken 2 blows to the Eagle beak.
Yeah, anytime you review that, you can't upgrade to a foul. It's either going to be a flagrant or nothing at all, and they didn't see anything there.
Kinley Fisher drives to the lane. Her shot's blocked, but they're going to say enough contact was made. It's going to send her to the foul line.
Yeah, Mitchell Steen thought she got all ball, might have leaned over a little bit. She wasn't arguing the call, though, so that's free throws upcoming. Take another look here. Ball fake. Kind of reaches over the arm a little bit. Might have been also a little body to body.
So Mitchell Steen picks up her second personal foul and immediately heads to the bench as Fisher, the second leading free throw shooter in the conference, knocks down the first. Coming into this contest, 86% from the foul line.
Goodness gracious.
I didn't even get 86% of questions right in school, let alone made free throws. Second one's also good from Fisher. So Central Arkansas creeping back into it. As Florida Gulf Coast has gone ice cold from the field. They're only 13 of 18 now after starting 8 for 8.
Wow. That's crazy, isn't it?
You don't see that, especially on the road against a good defensive team like UCA. But their lead's cut to 11. They've led by as much as 18 in this first half. Jefferson's got it back. 5 on the shot clock. Give it up, Page. Travels. Trying to do too much. One extra pass, too many. As Florida Gulf Coast commits their 3rd turnover in this first half.
And UCA's not been able to turn it into points just yet. 0 in points off turnovers. Hoping to capitalize this time.
Chance to get back within single digits here are the Sugar Bears. Mafua's got an 18-footer. The short, long rebound creates a fast break opportunity. Going to reach in. They're going to get Mafua with a hack. It's going to be the first team foul on Central Arkansas in this second quarter.
Anytime you move fast in transition as an offensive player, it bodes well for you because as long as you're controlled, which Florida Gulf Coast has been, you're going to get some loose ball activity, some reaching fouls, and that's what happened there.
After 9 fouls being called in the first 4.5 minutes or so, this one's calmed down just a bit. Here's Page. Almost turned it over. Jefferson's got it now. To the corner. Roll all the way to the rim. Central Arkansas didn't stop the ball and gives up the easy one.
I like that drive from roll. Got herself in plus territory on that baseline, and then right underneath the basket, nobody home.
Upshaw's in the lane. That shot rolls out. Jade Upshaw, Central Arkansas's leading scorer, has yet to make a field goal. A deep three right there, answering back to Lana Page. Her third three-pointer in this first half.
Boy, she is making it rain. A lot of them have been in transition, too, kind of trailing. Nobody there spotting up. When you're left alone, good things happen.
Stevens, she's going to try to answer with a triple. That one's in and out, no good. Knocked out of bounds by Abiara, and the Eagles have possession.
Hey, you like that look, though, if you're Stevens. You're open. She knocked down a lot early in the shoot-around, but that one wouldn't go in halfway home.
Central Arkansas showing they're going to extend the pressure full court as they trail it by 16. They've had a tough time keeping Jefferson in front. And Jefferson again with the blow-by.
She is impressive. Her handles are out of this world.
Fifth-year senior. Played at Wright State and Memphis. Starting to see more and more of that in college basketball, multiple previous schools. 5 on the shot clock now for the Eagles. Here's Cairns, a deep three. Got it. Dolly Cairns continues the barrage as Florida Gulf Coast is 7 of 10 from deep.
Wow. 14th in the country in three-point percentages, Cairns, and she showed why just right there.
Turnaround jumper from Cheyenne Kemps off the mark, and Florida Gulf Coast has it up 19. Their largest lead of the contest. Five different players for Florida Gulf Coast have knocked one down from beyond the arc. Jefferson all the way to the 10. Offensive rebound by Taylor. Can't get it to go, but she draws a foul, and she's headed to the stripe.
Florida Gulf Coast leads the league in rebounds per game, and good as you wouldn't tell in this game because they hadn't had many opportunities. Florida Gulf Coast knocking down everything with a big offensive rebound. FGCU going to the free throw line. Chance to make it 20-plus lead.
As you would imagine, a team with a 19-point lead, they're dominating pretty much every category, including rebounds. 15-6 is the margin right now. Of course, Central Arkansas doesn't have many opportunities at a defensive rebound as Florida Gulf Coast is just not missing the shots. 16 of 22 from the floor. Whew. 72% in the first half. That's about as good as you're going to see in an impactful game like this one.
Against a team that's tops in the league in field goal percentage defense, too. That goes to show you they're the real deal.
Taylor checks out. Gill back in for Florida Gulf Coast. Taylor's been used sparingly in this first half. Just 9 minutes played. Saving the legs. Cheyenne Banks has got it down low. She muscles back in. Banks twice. They've gone to her down low. Twice. She's put up points.
Yeah, got it off of Taylor. First time, Gill that time. That might be a mismatch that UCA wants to utilize a little bit more.
Upshaw, good defense on Jefferson. Forces her to dish it out of the lane. Deep three again. Is off the mark, though. Finally from Page, her first miss from long range. She's 3 of 4. Upshaw, quick three. It's short. Off the mark, and that one might have been forced as the Sugar Bears' leading scorer has missed her first 5 shots on the floor.
You can tell the MO, though, is to make things uncomfortable for Jade Upshaw. And Florida Gulf Coast has done that. Give them credit. Trying to take her out of the game as much as possible. You can tell she's been hampered by that defense just a little bit.
She averages 15.7 points per contest, does Upshaw. A senior from Sapulpa, Oklahoma. Give and go. Gill's got it down low. She traveled. Got to go up with that if you're Gill. Skylar Gill, a senior transfer from Kansas and North Alabama. A little ASUN transfer to transfer action.
She was good at North Alabama, too. She's been real good at FGCU. UCA's forced now 4 turnovers, but they've not been live ball turnovers, right? If you're Florida Gulf Coast, you'll take that. You don't get any of those transition opportunities.
I try to go back down low to Banks. She kicks it out. Randria Wright's open for 3. Buries it from the corner, does Randria Wright.
Little high-low. Go back outside right. Putting on a big three ball. Getting next to the crowd.
Gill blows right by Banks. Gets the buckets.
And then she silences things. UCA just looking for a little bit of life, and every time FGCU seems to squash it.
Upshaw. Her three-pointer is well off the mark there. Jay just doesn't have it in this first half.
You can tell she's been bothered a little bit by this, just not going her way early.
Gill, another three. That one's short. Central Arkansas wants her to take it. She's 1 of 3 from deep. Right. Backs down the defender. Now fadeaway jumper's good. Randria right. 5 quick points. And Central Arkansas takes a quick timeout.
I like that look from Wright. Got a little plus size. Fades away. Hands straight up. Good defense. Better offense from Randria Wright.
One thing I've noticed, been on a roll in conference play.
Yeah, things have clicked. I think it starts with the defense, right? They're starting to buy in a little bit, trying to get stops. They've not played bad tonight, believe it or not, defensively. FGCU just can't seem to miss. It's starting to cool off a little bit, but they're hoping to ride their defense. UCA is going to have to get some big stops down the stretch.
UCA, today notwithstanding, at least in this first half, is a prime example as they get Taylor established down low. And Randria Wright forces the time possession. We'll keep it on this end. But to finish that thought, Central Arkansas gave away a couple games before Christmas, or at least before conference play. 19-6 record could easily be 22-3, 22-4, whatever the math adds up to be. They kind of gave a couple contests away.
Oh, no question. But that goes to show you teams that, like Florida Gulf Coast, have the record that they have. They've played really good competition, and they've won games, tough games on the road when they needed to.
Santoro stays in the lane. 6 on the shot clock. Tough drive. They're going to get a hand check on the Central Arkansas defense. Not a shooting foul. And the 3rd foul on the Sugar Bears in the 2nd quarter. But more importantly, a fresh 20 for the Eagles as the shot clock was winding down.
As much as Jefferson's impressive offensively and her defensive prowess, I think what impresses me a lot with her is the ability to draw fouls. She's got 6 drawn tonight. Slows things down, and it kind of takes away the defender.
Taylor has been quiet in this first half. Has it up top. Gives it up to Santoro. 10 on the shot clock. Taylor hits the deck. Good defensive possession here for the Sugar Bears. Santoro gives it up. Taylor, 3. Not part of her game normally, but she knocks down a 3, and just one of those halves for the Sugar Bear defense.
You know when it's going your way on a night like this, when your big player down in the post is knocking them from deep. Florida Gulf Coast firing on all cylinders.
Lead back up to 18. Kemp coming off the screen. Gives it over to Fisher. Now 10 on the shot clock for UCA. Kemp fadeaway jumper rattles home. Cheyenne Kemp's played well in her first game back in a week and a half.
She really has. Love her offensive. It's been Mafua and Kemp for the most part. If UCA can find a way to get a stop heading into halftime, oh boy.
What a pass there from Jefferson. All eyes were on her, and a wide open Lauryn Taylor's underneath for the easy finish.
All for not trying to get a defensive stop. That's as easy as it gets for FGCU. Might be their easiest bucket of the night.
Kemp's got it in the corner. She lets one go. Cheyenne Kemp for 3.
Big bucket. Now you definitely got to get a stop if you're UCA. Kemp having a great game offensively. Played good defensively as well. And the Eagles would love to extend that lead out to 17 or more with a big bucket to close out the half.
About a 2.5 shot and game clock differential. Pretty much negligible as Florida Gulf Coast going to try to hold for the final shot of this first half. First half, it's been pretty impressive. They're 70% from the floor. Jefferson's got it. She's in the lane. Left-hand finish won't go. Taylor at the horn. They're going to say shot clock violation. So 1.8 is left on the game clock. And Central Arkansas is going to chance for maybe a deep pass and a heave.
That was a must-have defense. Look at this. Jefferson, not a bad look. They got the offensive board, just not enough time. And now if you're UCA, you don't necessarily have to get a shot, but don't give it away and give up an easy bucket.
They get in to right. She lets one go from beyond half court. That one off the glass, off the rim, no good. And that's it for the first 20 minutes of play. Florida Gulf Coast, the conference leader, undefeated in the Atlantic Sun, lands the first haymaker.
Back in it.
The Florida Gulf Coast is likely used to this kind of atmosphere. They're getting everybody's best shot in the conference because when the conference champ comes rolling in, of course you roll out the red carpet and you try to do everything you can to pull the upset. $1 tickets, $2 hot dogs inside the Ferris Center tonight, and the fans have shown up here in Conway.
You did snag me one, didn't you?
Might have eaten it. My bad. Central Arkansas's got it as we are underway in quarter number 3. You got to believe getting Kinley Fisher, Bree Stevens involved in the action. Jade Upshaw as well. Going to be important. And Fisher immediately drives to the rack, and she's headed to the foul line.
I like that take from Fisher. Got to take the game in your hands a little bit, drive downhill. If you don't get the shot, you get a foul, and you're almost automatic from the free throw line. Top 50 in the country in free throw percentage. That's a way to get your scoring involved a little bit.
Kinley Fisher, perfect from her only trip to the foul line in the first half. She's got 2 points. Central Arkansas as a team now, 5 of 8 from the stripe, 7 of 9 on the other side for Florida Gulf Coast. Outside the first 5 minutes, pretty clean basketball, really good pace, as you can tell by the number of points scored, as Fisher, blame that on us, misses the second.
Hey, but you got at least one if you're Fisher. Got to live with that.
Jefferson gets into the lane. Central Arkansas has had a tough time keeping number 1 out of the paint. Jefferson again, offensive foul. Fisher established position, and the official agreed as the charge is called and a turnover. Just the 6th of the contest against the Eagles.
That's all about anticipation. Fisher was there. Jefferson guessed right, or excuse me, Fisher guessed right. Jefferson right into the defender. It's going to be an offensive foul every time.
Jefferson may be the only player on FGCU's roster who doesn't look to shoot first. She looks to drive, and Fisher anticipated. Mafua, she drives herself, misses the shot in the lane, though. Battle for the loose ball rebound. We got a tie possession. It's going to go towards the Eagles.
That's the effort of Jefferson, though. Never gave up on that play, kind of loose. Went between her legs, but able to turn around. I think what Jefferson, though, what makes it more impressive with her, too, is her ability to get down inside the paint. Even if she doesn't score, you got to collapse on her because she can, and you find so many easy teammates right underneath the goal.
It's 3 times now Mafua has gotten to the rim and not been able to finish.
Yeah.
Normally those are shots she hits. She has knocked down both 3-pointers, has 12 points. That's 6 potential points. That would be huge right now.
UCA going out in a 2-3 zone, hoping to force Florida Gulf Coast into shooting the 3, perhaps.
See if Florida Gulf Coast makes them work. They go inside out. Taylor's got it down low, guarded by Stevens. They work it around. Roll all the way to the rim. Her shot's partially blocked by Fisher. Horn goes off. Shot doesn't fall. And now UCA's in the front court, down 14. Fisher backing down the defense, gives it up to Abiara, and they're going to reset the offense.
I think that's a good look here for UCA. FGCU had a little bit of position there in the paint.
Mafua working with Abiara and couldn't handle the tough pass inside. Central Arkansas turns it over.
Came in a little too hot, too high for Abiara to handle. That's a good look, though. You want it back.
Central Arkansas just their 3rd turnover of the contest. Here's Cairns. Kind of a slow start offensively for both of these teams here in this second half. Taylor on the pick and roll. Abiara there defensively, though, for Central Arkansas.
Good job straight up. Taylor went into the body there, but Abiara, that's tough to do. A youngster with her arms straight up. A lot of times you want to kind of go at an angle and you're going to get the foul, but Abiara didn't.
Fisher now working the pick and roll with Abiara. Nothing there. She's going to work in the lane. Fisher, turnaround jumper, short. Abiara tries to keep it alive, but right 2 roll for Florida Gulf Coast. Jefferson and 1. She has just been a menace inside. Amani Jefferson, another shot in the lane.
And just the ability to go up against Stevens, the league's best blocker, 5th in the country in block shots. It goes not afraid one bit in a chance at a 3-point play.
3rd personal foul on Bree Stevens. She picked up 2 in the first couple minutes of the first quarter and now picks up number 3 just 2.5 minutes into the second half.
But that's what good teams do, right? They figure out ways to eliminate the opposition, whether it's Upshaw scoring, they lock her down. Whether it's getting a player in foul trouble, they've done a really, really nice job, and Jefferson's been the catalyst.
Jefferson able to get to the rim anytime she's wanted to tonight. That free throw's good. She's now got 14 points to go along with 3 assists and 2 rebounds. She's stuffing the old stat sheets.
In a multitude of ways, right? Goodness. She's fun to watch, I'll tell you that much.
Lead back to 17. Mafua, deep 3. It's nothing. It goes out of bounds. That's her first miss from deep. Mafua knocked down both three-pointers in the first half.
Somewhat forced a little bit, right? I think that's what FGCU wants. When you start forcing things, you start playing their style, and you have that advantage when you jump out to a big lead like that. Usually your opposition might start forcing things a bit.
Central Arkansas back in the zone. See how Florida Gulf Coast handles it. Mitchell Steen's going to let a three go. That's short, but she gets her own rebound. Quickly back into the lane. And Florida Gulf Coast going to reset the offense with a fresh 20.
Get to waste some clock, too. I like how she tracked down her own miss.
Taylor, tough defense by Aviara, and the rejection. 4 now on the shot clock. We'll see if they recognize it. A deep three, in and out. Offensive rebound, though, pulled in by Serena Roll. And Aviara is going to be whistled with a push.
That's the name of the game. When you're up big at half, rebound, rebound, rebound. That's 3 opportunities that FGCU had. And they got a chance with the basketball still to add to their lead.
Roll was giving up 7 inches on that rebound attempt, but she got position on Aviara and got the foul call. 5'9" versus 6'2". Correction, 6'4". Mitchell Steen shuffled the feet, tried to attack the lane, and moved the feet before she got the basketball. 7th turnover now against the Eagles.
But again, I reiterate, almost all of those have been in a violation, not live ball, right? So it just stops the clock. Then you got to inbound. It's not in transition.
Inching towards the 6-minute mark here in the third quarter. Mafua's got it. She's got to do something with it. Finally gets it out to Kemp. 10 on the shot clock. Cheyenne has her pocket picked. Mitchell Steen, one-on-one. All the way to the rack. Draws the foul. Can't get the shot to go, but she's headed to the foul line.
That is a heck of a play for Kamari Mitchell Steen. Senior going up against a sophomore. Just anticipates. Gets ahead of Kemp, gets the takeaway, and then watch the body here. Kemp kind of with those hands down. Mitchell Steen taking advantage, going straight to the rack.
Mitchell Steen has played well. She has 9 points, 4 of 6 on the floor, leading the team with a pair of steals. Central Arkansas has not made a shot in this third quarter. Florida Gulf Coast hasn't been a whole lot better, just 1 of 7 in the period. 1 of 2. Mitchell Steen hits the free throw, blows a kiss to the UCA band. I'm sure it was received greatly. Andrea Wright's going to run the point now as Upshaw checks out. Jade Upshaw still 0 of 6. The Sugar Bears leading scorer looking for her first field goal. Wright, she drives all the way off the window, rolls out.
That's good defense from Santoro, straight up without fouling. Let it be what it is. Good defense.
Here's Gill all the way to the rim. Central Arkansas is content with giving her that shot at the three-point line, but at some point you got to stop the basketball. They don't there. Gill all the way to the cup, leads back to 20.
Anytime Gill goes to her right, she's tough to guard. She got a little bit of an advantage against Abiara and went straight to the window.
Kick out to Kemp for 3. It's off the mark, and Florida Gulf Coast, matching their largest lead of the contest, has the ball. Gill gets it. Pull up 14-footers short. And Abiara clears it. Central Arkansas trailing by 20. Feel like they've got to make a run, but the other way, Mitchell Steen, another steal. Her third of the first half and an easy finish.
That's just effort right there for Mitchell Steen. Jumped the route, got the takeaway. She's a great defender. Really good high basketball IQ, seeing where that ball's going and jumping inside.
She had 2 in the first half, I should say. Third of the contest. Mitchell Steen doing it on both ends. Wright gets in the lane. That one just dies on the back of the rim and gets the friendly roll.
Needed that if you're UCA. Stop the bleeding a little bit. Just got to get a stop now.
Mitchell Steen, she's swatted away by Mafua. Steps on the inline. But Florida Gulf Coast sees their lead grow to 20 as we step aside here in the third. trying to find a way back into it, but anytime that looks like they make a run, Florida Gulf Coast has an answer.
And even if it's not with points, it's with rebounds, right? Get a defensive board or an offensive putback. They're winning the rebound battle 26-12. That always travels. If you can get rebounds, points to the paint, and free throw line, you're going to win on the road.
Central Arkansas been pretty quiet in this third quarter. Stevens, her first look at a three. That's off the mark as Duckworth tracks down the long rebound. Right back to Stevens on the block. Duckworth, she toes a three from the right wing out and hits nothing. Ball hits the baseline. Oh, we're going to have a whistle on the far side. Looks like we're going to keep it on this end.
I think Alana Page got tangled up trying to box out, but anytime you extend your arms out to keep your defender from getting around, that's where the foul came in on Page.
So Stevens still looking for her first field goal. So was Jade Upshaw. That's two of the main cogs in the machine that is the Sugar Bear offense. Wright tries to go baseline. She gets all the way to the other side. Andrea Wright with the finish in the lane.
A little bit of bully ball against Santoro. You'll take it. Underneath, got an easy look.
Jefferson again with the blow by and gets all the way to the rim and then bumps into the seats. Ooh, that bottom step might have got her right in the lower back.
Oh, my goodness. You hate to see that from an electric player in Jefferson. Her seventh foul drawn. How did she get that to go for one? Or get that off, excuse me. Got the foul and then hit hard on the backside. Oh, my goodness.
It has not been Jefferson's nights as far as the physicalness of this contest. No. Been hit in the face two different occasions. At that time, the lower back right into the bleachers, but it's not affecting her play. 14 points, 4 of 6 from the floor, perfect 6 of 6 from the foul line. Her game certainly travels. At the line for FGCU is number 1, Amani Jefferson. She shoots 2. So Jefferson's going to shoot the 2 free throws. Should she make the second one? Substitutions waiting at the scores table for her.
What a tough player, though, right? Jefferson still out there competing. 2 blows to the face. That one off the backside, lower back.
Hurts a little more when you don't make the free throws, though.
That's right.
5th-year senior from Miami.
Hey, we'll give her a break, right? She's 6 of 7. My goodness.
Percentage still pretty good. As Dolly Cairns replaces Jefferson. Jefferson now with a game-high 15 points. 19-point lead, final 3.5 to play here in the third. You got to believe this is when Central Arkansas needs to make a run to make things interesting and, more importantly, get this crowd back into it.
Got to get it as close as you can. You'd like it to be 8 or 10-point deficit, but don't need a lot.
Fisher all the way to the rack, and that's certainly going to get the Ferris crowd going.
That's a start for UCA. Fisher gets a little bit of an angle. Thought they were going to get help defense. I really think Paige thought she was going to get some help from Taylor. Never came.
The in-state product from Greenwood probably is better going to her left than if she is going to the dominant hand, the right.
I think you're right, too, yeah.
Seen that over the last couple weeks. She converts the three-point play. Central Arkansas back within 16.
Well, so far the first quarters where there's only been any disparity, right? The second and third quarters have been pretty even.
It's what you'd expect from the top 2 teams in the conference. As Gill's got it, they're now working around the perimeter. Here's Cairns. Back to roll. 7 on the shot clock. Cairns has her pass deflected and taken away. This is Cheyenne Kemp. Credit her with the steal. The deflection, though, goes to Fisher.
Active hands lead to loose ball turnovers, but you got to get down in transition. If you couldn't that time, so now you got to turn it into points.
Fisher again going to that left side. Gives it up right in the lane. Nice job by Randria Wright. Comes to the basketball, an easy bucket.
And already a little bit of a mounted comeback. Jefferson's called upon off the bench. She's a difference maker on the floor, offensively, defensively, you name it. She's going to come back out.
5 straight points for Central Arkansas. Has got the home crowd back into it, but as you just mentioned, Jefferson and Taylor both set to check in on the next dead ball for Florida Gulf Coast. Here's Roll. She's bumped in the lane and one. Serena Roll quiets the crowd and a chance for the 3-point play.
Boy, you needed a stop if you're UCA, but Roll took matters in their own hands. Watch the bump here from Duckworth. Really nice job recognizing Roll. She noticed no help, comes up, lays it off the glass, and if you're Duckworth, you're going to foul there. You better make it hard to make the shot, right?
So the blow by there. Duckworth had the shoulders turned. She just lowers the shoulder, but not enough to prevent Roll from getting it off the window. And Serena's got a chance for the old school three-point play, and she converts. So when UCA was crawling back into it, a big answer. They try to go to Duckworth underneath, but Taylor kicks the ball. Soccer season, not in season, so that's not allowed.
Not until the fall, right?
That's right. Kemp's going to gun it in right in front of the radio booth. Shout out to Steve Owens down there. Allegedly works hard.
Emphasis on the allegedly.
That's right. 10 on the shot clock. Stevens back to right. Fisher, a deep three from the right wing. It's short. And Taylor pulls down the rebound.
FGCU doing their part, right? Getting the offensive boards and then closing out on three.
Nobody stops the basketball. And again, Jefferson all the way to the rim.
That's what she can do when she's on the floor. In transition, straight downhill. You need a bucket in under 10 seconds. Jefferson's got you.
Stevens left open in the corner. That one's too strong. Duckworth with the rebound. Her shot's erased. But Serena Roll got her with the body.
How about Duckworth doing work in the paint there? She had to box out 2 or 3 Eagles. Got the rebound, went back up, and a chance for 2 with the charity stripe.
Thing you've noticed in the last few minutes of this contest, Upshaw and Mafua both on the bench for Central Arkansas. Maybe saving those two, the leading 2 scorers for the Sugar Bears, for a fourth quarter run. Too early to wave the white flag. You know, Coach Tony Kemper's got a game plan. Second free throw from Duckworth. Bounces around, goes down, and she's replaced. Cheyenne Banks back in for UCA. 17-point game, minute 4 seconds left here in the third. Florida Gulf Coast looking like an NCAA tournament team and the best team in this conference, at least so far.
They're flexing their muscle on the road. You're right.
Jefferson all the way in the lane, cut off by Banks. And they'll reset the offense. Gill's got it. She's trapped in the corner. 8 on the shot clock now. Nice pass inside. Taylor with the finish, but Mitchell Steen created it.
That is textbook ball movement right there. I mean, really electric. Nice feeding it around. He got the easy 2.
Stevens tries to drive to the lane. That one deflected out of bounds. Gill doesn't like the call, but we'll keep it on this end.
Could tell he was trying to ask for a little bit of help. He couldn't see. I don't think either of the refs saw that.
There's Mafua checking back in for the final 25 seconds of this third quarter, replacing Bree Stevens. 22 on the shot clock.
I mean, if it's not already for UCA, this is a must-have possession, right? You got to score here.
Certainly feels like it. Running out of possessions as much as time.
Yeah.
Are the Sugar Bears, even though Florida Gulf Coast does like to play up tempo. Fisher letting the clock wind down. Shots now at 5. Fisher's going to have to let one go from deep. She does. And hits nothing. It's going to be a shot clock violation. The first one of those forced by Florida Gulf Coast.
Their defense is so good. Kind of flexing, pushing you out, keeping you outside of your comfort zone. That's what the Eagles have done tonight.
Just the 6th turnover against the Sugar Bears. They've played pretty clean, but they haven't had many answers for Florida Gulf Coast as they lead it 69-50. Sugar Bears got to make a run in the final 10. That's coming up. Bobby Swafford, it was really the story of the first quarter. And this one, like it has been a lot of the season for Florida Gulf Coast, 35 first quarter points, and this one had a 15-point lead. They've outscored their opponents by 186 in the first 10 minutes of games this year.
That's how you win, especially on the road. Jump out in front. They've got a 19-point lead, and I guarantee you it'd be one of their worst comeback losses if they fell up 19 heading into the fourth quarter.
Got to weather the storm when you play the Eagles. And Central Arkansas struggled with that early. And that's why they're down as we enter the final quarter. Upshaw still looking for her first made field goal. That one rolls out. It's been a tough night for UCA's leading scorer. Mitchell Steen's got it in the lane. She's going to work on Fisher. Gives it out. Taylor knocked down just her 7th three-pointer earlier in the contest. And that's more her game. She gets it down low, finishes, and Florida Gulf Coast lead is now 21.
Mitchell Steen beat her defender. When that happened, Albiar had to come either give help. It gave Taylor a lot of room, gave the Eagles options, and they made them pay.
Central Arkansas has never led in this contest, as Florida Gulf Coast made their first 8 shots of the contest. But 12 of 15 in the first quarter. Albiara has her pocket pick from behind, and quickly on the runs, Mitchell Steen. She's bumped by Fisher. Another trip to the foul line coming.
Fisher was just a little bit beat there. Hip check. That's the right call. It was a little bit delayed, and I think that's why you heard some oohs and ahs from the crowd. They didn't like it, but just because it's a late call doesn't mean it's a bad call.
That's correct. So Fisher picks up her 3rd. There's no foul trouble to be spoken of either side. A few players with 3 personals. It's been one of those nights for the home team, and that doesn't happen really ever, as Tony Kipper's squad is undefeated in the regular season during his 2 seasons as the head man here at Central Arkansas. But Florida Gulf Coast hasn't lost a conference game in 2.5 years. So we knew something was going to have to give tonight.
44 in a row, to be exact, in conference play.
The last loss came against a team that's no longer in the conference. That was Liberty.
Then you go another 40 games. That was their last loss to Stetson by 3.
This is a perennial team in the NCAA tournament and a nightmare matchup for Power 4 schools when they get there. Fisher's drive a little out of control, too strong. And Gulf Coast has it out. Mitchell Steen going back to work. She traveled. Trying to split the double team, maybe doing a little too much there. It was 7 in green, and they turn it over.
9th turnover of the game. And again, it's all been on violations.
Yep.
Stopping the clock, not able to get out in transition. And those are the kinds you want. No matter who you are, if you're going to have turnovers, you want them to not be live ball.
Central Arkansas down to their final 8 minutes. If they're going to make a run, they've got to do it now. Mafua, Upshaw. Got to get the offense going. Mafua scored 12 points in the first quarter, hasn't scored since. 1 on the shot clock. She traveled. That's going to be another turnover against Central Arkansas, and the defense showing up in this final quarter for Florida Gulf Coast.
When you can play for 40 minutes defensively like they can, they're good. They're really good defensively at forcing you to do the things you don't want to do. For 40 minutes full, that's how you win a lot of games and make big runs in the postseason.
Most people believe this is going to be the first of 2 meetings in the next couple of weeks between Central Arkansas and Florida Gulf Coast. They met in the conference tournament championship game a season ago. That first quarter dominated by Florida Gulf Coast, and they won that contest easily. And Central Arkansas hoping they can have a rematch with the Eagles. They were hoping that contest would happen on this floor, as the number 1 seed gets to host throughout until they get beat. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case here for UCA unless they've got a improbable run.
Well, and Florida Gulf Coast also could lose 2 of the last 3. Not very likely.
That's why this game was so important for both squads, because if they do beat UCA, they would have to lose essentially 3 games to end the regular season, as Kenley Fisher knocks down a triple. But with the head-to-head and the 2-game advantage in the standings, it's essentially a 3-game lead. Tough to see Florida Gulf Coast fall apart like that down the regular season.
Yeah, especially when this is the 2nd-best team in the league, right?
Yeah. Answer for an answer. Florida Gulf Coast continues to have one.
Unbelievable. Jefferson is unbelievable. It's the way she's able to get downhill to the rack and still make this shot. That's not bad defense. You foul, and then Jefferson, she knew it. That's the signs of a very talented player.
Yeah, Monty Jefferson, her first step is so quick, and that's why you saw her start at high level, play at Wright State and Memphis. found her way to Florida Gulf Coast in this style of play, and she just takes over with the ball in her hands.
Her ball control is so good that she's able to kind of be looking around as she's driving. Not many players can do that, so she's able to dish it off. So as a defender, you almost have to back off just a little, and so she's just so electric on every part of her game.
Jefferson leads all scorers tonight as Banks tries to muscle it up, has it knocked out of bounds, and I'm going to say last touch by Sugar Bear. And Jefferson with 19 points to lead the way, 6 of 8 from the floor, 7 of 8 from the foul line, 2 shots to the face, 1 to the lower back. Nothing has been able to slow her down. So our first look at Kaylin Flowers, number 12 for Florida Gulf Coast. As the Eagles are starting to be a little more methodical offensively. Gill's got it now in the corner. Right on top of the ASUN logo. Kicks it out. 3 from the wings. Good. That one rattles home. Casey Santoro. And everything is just turning up sparkles and rainbows for the Eagles. As Mafua answers back with a 3 of her own.
How impressive is this, though? Santoro, Florida Gulf Coast, they're still bringing it up on the road by 22.
And Flowers with the finish in the lane. Her first bucket, and she's getting some minutes here in the fourth. 24-point lead. Mafua, tough drive with the left-handed finish. Central Arkansas needed more of that in quarters number 2 and 3. Red Dreer Wright picks off the pass. She's going one-on-one. Hurl gets roll. Wright with the finish. Can't get it to fall, though.
That has been the kind of night for UCA down the stretch, right? Get a live ball turnover and just can't get the layup from underneath.
Central Arkansas has missed more than just a handful of shots in the paint. Down 22. I'm not sure how much of that actually mattered, but in the moments, obviously some of those buckets could have changed the flow of this contest. Five to shoot now for the Eagles. They let one go. That one hits nothing but backboard. And Banks has got the board. Fisher's left wide open for 3. He's got it. Kinley Fisher a 3 and a quick timeout for Central Arkansas. They're down 19. Do they have a final run in them? We'll have the final 5 minutes coming up. 4:50 left here in the fourth. Florida Gulf Coast comfortably ahead, 80-61. They're still red hot from the floor, 60% as we play here in the fourth.
Just milk some clock if you're FGCU, and that's your best friend right now with a big lead.
We've done it right on both ends of the floor. Central Arkansas has honestly not played poorly offensively. 46% from the field, 7 of 17 from 3. Sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw. 5 on the shot clock. Nice give and go. Taylor left wide open underneath and an easy finish.
Telling you, the Eagles, they look tournament ready, right? They're battle tested. They're ready to go. Still a lot left in the season, but my goodness.
Red Dreer Wright with a response on the other end. He's got a chance for the 3-point play. And we'll take another timeout. Step side, got to pay some bills. Final 4:12 coming your way. It's at the foul line for Central Arkansas, trying to get her 12th point of the contest. Chance for the 3-point play here. UCA's down 19, though. Got to get some stops. Got to put up some buckets.
When you look at UCA, first in the league, top 50 in the country in field goal percentage defense, and what FGCU tonight has been a statement.
Sometimes teams just come in on the road red hot. There's nothing you can do about it, and that's kind of been what the Sugar Bears have faced tonight.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to throw your hands up like, did what we could do, but keeping Jefferson out of the lane's got to be priority number 1, because that right there has been a problem. And the give and go to Taylor is a prime example of it.
You already felt like if you're UCA and you're going to beat the Eagles, you needed to play really well, and you might have needed the Eagles not to shoot very well to begin, and that just was not the case. The Eagles, arguably one of their best starts to a game this year, and that's a recipe for success.
35 points in the first quarter as we got a hand check against Florida Gulf Coast. 35 points, make your first 8 shots, go 12 of 15 from the floor in those 10 minutes. You're not going to lose many games when you jump out to that kind of lead. And honestly, it's almost impressive that Central Arkansas kept it within 15 at that point, because they shot it pretty well in that first quarter themselves.
No kidding. you really take away that first quarter, it's a 6-point game. That first quarter was the statement, and the Eagles have never looked back.
Central Arkansas missed a handful, if not more, of shots in the lane.
But you go back to the foul. Stevens had to come out early. Yeah. Fisher had a couple. I mean, that's where things really set for them.
Stevens drives the bucket. Bree Stevens finally gets her first field goal to fall. Her first points of the contest as well.
You got to know if UCA ends up making it all the way to the championship game, they're going to have revenge on their mind. Keep those players out of foul trouble.
Taylor made 6 threes all season long, and she's made 2 in Conway here tonight.
Boy, is that not indicative of how this game has gone? Wow. Taylor getting the friendly triple to go.
6 of 41 on the season, and tonight she's 2 of 3. Stevens bumped on the baseline, no call. Gets it over to Upshaw. She's still looking for her first field goal. Drive all the way to rim. That one's too tough, a little out of control. Still looking for that first shot to fall.
Boy, Upshaw, she's not ever gone 0 for in her career here at UCA in a game, but she is flirting with it now.
The Arkansas State transfers averaging 15 a game. Just 2 tonight. Cook. She drives. The official's going to see if this is a reach or a tie possession. They're going to say held ball. Arrow going back to Florida Gulf Coast.
A defense is relentless from Jefferson and company. She's locked down Upshaw really most of the game. That's where you look at a player who's able to take out an opposing player out of the game. Jefferson's done a really nice job against Upshaw. You got to tip your cap.
I don't think we can gloss over the stat you just mentioned. She has never played a game at UCA in which she didn't make at least 1 shot.
Yeah.
That's the kind of defense that Florida Gulf Coast has put on number 0 for UCA. And it's just not normal for the home crowd to see Upshaw shut down at all, let alone to this point that Florida Gulf Coast is doing tonight.
And she's just looked very uncomfortable doing it, right? No shots looked like, oh, it just almost went in. She's just felt like she's been hampered by that defense.
Drive to the lane. That one rolls around. Finally goes down. Karina Gordon into the scoring column. Inside the final 2 minutes. Tough drive. Jenna Cook with the left hand. UCA's been good tonight when they've gone to the baskets. Just too little, too late. As the freshman's headed to the foul line.
Jenna Cook getting into her bag. The freshman with the left hand. That's the offhand. Really impressive play from the youngster, Jenna Cook.
So we'll go ahead and concede this one that Florida Gulf Coast is going to pull this out in the final 2 minutes. But if you're Central Arkansas, you've got the conference tournament coming up in a couple weeks. You're the number 2 seed. Should you run into Florida Gulf Coast again, what's your game plan?
Well, you got to make sure you're not in foul trouble. You got to allow Stevens and players to get involved. You might figure out a way to get Upshaw open. Ball screen, something to get her going, because that's where things never really happen. And then you got to figure out a way to slow down FGCU offensively. Those are kind of a whole lot of things to fix, right? But I think that's the tall task you're going to have anytime you play the Eagles.
It's a pick your poison when you're playing Florida Gulf Coast. They're 25th in the country and made 3-pointers. So you can't really say, hey, we're going to dare you to shoot it from deep. Right. But tonight, Florida Gulf Coast the blow-by has been the issue for Central Arkansas. They've gotten into the lane, and that possession was a prime example of it. It doesn't matter who's got the basketball. They've been able to get to the rim anytime they want to. Flowers here, most of the time it's been Jefferson.
Started the game 6 of 6 on bunnies and layups, right? Perfect there. They forced misses underneath the basket against UCA. That's been the difference. You're right. But over the last 7 years, 5 of the last 7, they've led the country in 3-pointers made per game. So you're right. You can't ever lay off that. They can beat you in a multitude of ways, and that's why they're the league's favorite to win the Atlantic Sun.
Duckworth off the window. It's good. Cheyenne Kemp with the crossover created some space. Now on the other side, Florida Gulf Coast, they're feeling pretty good about themselves, on pace for another perfect conference regular season. Got to be the heavy favorite going to the conference tournament. And you can see why this team has shocked some teams in the NCAA tournament in recent history. There's not a large gap between them and the powerful schools.
It starts with the guard play. You got to have good guard play to beat anybody. They got the shooters. Cairns, Page, Jefferson, a really good ball handler. And their paint presence is good too. Taylor, a double-double machine. You also got Skylar Gill, co-defensive player in the Atlantic Sun. They can beat you. You watch out for the Eagles. They can make a big run in the NCAA tournament.
It's a team that's won some games in the NCAA tournament as well, as Gill draws a foul down low. The 13 seed is what Florida Gulf Coast is projected as of right now, according to ESPN. And if you're a 4 seed or a 5 seed and you see Florida Gulf Coast pop up on your bracket line, you're not loving life.
Not at all, because they've got players that come off the bench too. Santoro, Mitchell Steen, I mean, they are a complete package. Florida Gulf Coast, they're going to be tough to handle no matter who plays them. Postseason time, they get them ready to go over there in Fort Myers.
Free throws off the mark. Duckworth with the rebound for Central Arkansas. As we have 62 seconds to play, they turn it over.
There's 1 minute to play.
Amani Jefferson, preseason player of the year in the conference, and I think she played like it tonight. There's no question, 20 points, which is a game high. Another finish underneath for Skylar Gill. She's going to likely finish with 9 points. The lead's now 22 for Florida Gulf Coast. There's too much from the Eagles. Cook's 3 rolls out. Do have a differential between the game and shot clock, so Florida Gulf Coast going to have to launch it at least one more time, unless they choose to take the violation. It's a team that likes to shoot it like they do. I would doubt it. It's been a complete and total performance from Florida Gulf Coast that has been very impressive on the road against a very good Central Arkansas team, as that runner in the lane from Page is good. Your final thoughts on this one, JB?
Florida Gulf Coast is good. Impressive on all facets. When you come on the road and pick up a big win like that, that is a statement victory. And Florida Gulf Coast make it 45 in a row in conference play.